Aliyah did say I have a special whistle. She shot the team today. Yeah. She said the last game I had a special whistle. Which is cool.
So let's get this straight. The Las Vegas Aces have benefited from special whistles all season, but now Becky Hammon and Aja Wilson want to cry foul? In Game 4, the Fever dominated the boards, attacked the paint, earned more free throws, and still Wilson claimed Aliyah Boston got a special whistle. What Boston really had was pure dominance: 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Fever didn't just win. They exposed Vegas's excuses as pure comedy. What do you think? Was it a special whistle or just Boston being unstoppable? Let us know in the comments.
Looking at that box score, I'm wondering what's really standing out to you there.
I was looking at the fouls. Liz had 5, Jackie had 5, Chelsea had 5. And that's very interesting to me because I'm not saying we don't foul. Yeah, we foul here, but that's very interesting.
Why are the Aces suddenly crying about refs after 3 games of getting every soft call imaginable? From the start of this series, Indiana has been on the wrong end of whistles. Boston getting tagged just for sealing in the post. Mitchell whistled for sliding her feet with barely any contact, all while Vegas cashed in with Wilson at the line and free points piling up. But the moment Indiana flipped the script in Game 4, attacked the paint, and actually earned trips to the stripe, the Aces' entire sideline went into meltdown mode.
He certainly felt like a differently officiated game than other parts of the series. I think we had more defensive 3 seconds today than any other part of the playoffs. I just wonder how you felt about the overall flow of the game.
Well, they shot 34 free throws and we shot 11. Next question.
You could see it all over Becky Hammon's face. Every time Boston bodied Wilson, her hands flew up in disbelief. By the end of the night, she didn't even try to explain it. The numbers spoke louder than words. Indiana went to the line 34 times while Vegas only managed 11. When asked about it post-game, Becky brushed it off with, "They shot 34 free throws and we shot 11. Next question." That wasn't strategy talk. That was pure frustration. And it showed just how dependent the Aces have become on having the whistle on their side.
I got to go back and look at the tape, but it seemed like there was a lot of grabbing and holding down there. That got called one way.
Anything else?
I did appreciate it was a little tighter called, but tighter on both ends would have been nice.
Here's the real reason Indiana got to the line. It wasn't some sudden shift in referee bias. It was the game plan. The Fever attacked relentlessly. Boston sealed deep. Mitchell and the guards forced contact at the rim, and they lived in the paint. That's how you draw fouls, basic basketball. Vegas, on the other hand, settled for jumpers and relied on Wilson's isolations, with little consistent rim pressure outside of her. And yet, after the game, Wilson still tried to flip the script by claiming Boston had a special whistle because she shot. The free throws, pure sarcasm from someone who had been living off that very whistle in games 1 through 3.
So many other plays where it felt like Asia was bullying other players on the Fever. And I want you to watch this play here with Lexi Hall. She's standing her ground. She's trying to down screen and Asia just chucks her to the ground. Now there was no whistle there and you can see ref number 16 right there. He's watching the whole thing happen. No whistle. They just kind of let it go.
And here's the funniest part. When you look at the total fouls across 4 games, they're basically even. Both teams are right around the same number. So whatever edge Indiana got in Game 4 wasn't a conspiracy. It was balance correcting itself. The Aces didn't lose to the refs. They lost to the Fever hammering the paint and outworking them. 3 starters picking up 5 fouls wasn't officials targeting Vegas. It was Indiana forcing mismatches and making them defend possession after possession in the post. That's strategy, not favoritism. Add in Hammon's blunder of calling a timeout she didn't even have, handing Indiana a technical free throw in crunch time, and it sealed the comedy. Vegas beat itself as much as Indiana beat them, but only the Fever get credit for capitalizing.
4.
What? Oh my God. That's interesting. That's what I was looking at. So we'll do that.
By interesting, do you mean that shit?
Yeah. I can say I got a brand. But
Just say it, I have no brain.
Yeah, it's interesting.
In the end, that meltdown was nothing but smoke to hide the truth. The aces weren't sabotaged, they were shoved around. They lost the boards, surrendered the paint, and paid the price. That special whistle Wilson complained about? It was just Indiana playing special basketball. And at the heart of it all was Aliyah Boston. From the opening tip, she planted herself in the paint and made it clear she wasn't moving. This was the head-to-head everyone circled, MVP Wilson versus All-Star Boston, and the assumption was Wilson's experience and finesse would tilt the balance. Instead, Boston flipped the script, dragging the power her way by forcing Vegas to deal with her physicality for a full 40 minutes.
As soon as Aliyah Boston helps it all with the guard, Vegas has been very quick and decisive getting the ball to A'ja Wilson.
Entry pass, Boston. Guarded by Wilson. Boston takes it to her.
Efficient and effective. Look at where she catches the ball initially, working hard, regains it, then comes back and goes.
Wilson still got her numbers. 31 points looks dominant on paper, but anyone watching saw how exhausting it was for her to earn them. Every catch came with Boston's body leaning into her, shoving her off her spots and pushing her further from the rim. What usually comes easy turned into a grind, and as the game wore on, that constant pressure wore her down. The ripple effect was clear. The rest of Vegas never found a rhythm, stuck watching their star fight for every bucket instead of flowing in their offense.
Right. Boston able to hook it in.
But Boston does.
Oh, knocks it away. Boston the steal. Sims ahead of the field will lay it in. Who is in the game? Melissa Smith is who sat down with Lloyd coming in. Backdoor, Mitchell lays it in on a beautiful delivery from Boston.
On the other end, Boston's stat line spoke for itself. 24 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. She went 7 for 15 from the floor, sank 10 of 13 from the stripe, and dictated the game on both ends. This wasn't just scoring, it was complete control, every possession flowing through her presence. While Wilson burned energy grinding for shots, Boston stayed efficient, poised, and relentless. The difference was how deep she established her seals. Instead of being pushed out like earlier in the series, she muscled into prime position, catching the ball near the rim where Vegas had no choice but to foul. Those trips to the line weren't gifts from the refs. They were the result of Boston forcing the issue and making the Aces pay for contact they couldn't avoid.
What were you seeing or feeling out there that let you have the night that you had?
Just trying to be aggressive. Hello? Hello? Oh, there we go. Just trying to be aggressive, post up, seal, focus, and finish, and get to the free throw line.
Steph or Aliyah, did either of you see anything on tape the last couple of games for you specifically to try to get you more looks or better looks, especially as you did in that second half?
Yeah, I mean, we've watched a lot of film, but I think for me, just working on my positioning, trying to get...
Think back to game. I.e., Vegas swarmed Boston early, forced her out of her comfort spots, and it worked. She looked rushed, turned the ball over, and never found a rhythm. But in Game 4, she flipped the script. She steadied her base, stayed patient against the doubles, and when the defense collapsed, she punished it with 5 assists to open shooters. That's the mark of a star who learns on the fly. It wasn't just a bounce back. It was postseason level adaptation. The kind that separates good players from great ones.
Has been unleashed. Powers into the game for the first time. Here's Boston working young and finishing.
Let's give some love where it's due. The post work. Aliyah Boston sees a guard on her. The double comes, passes back out. So what does she do? She reposts, puts her right hand up. So
Wilson tried to flip the story by suggesting Boston got special treatment from the refs, but the tape shows the opposite. This wasn't officials gifting Boston calls. It was Boston gifting Vegas bruises. She absorbed contact, dished it back, and kept playing through it on both ends. If you want to call it special, call it what it was. Special control, not favoritism. The big question of this series was whether Indiana could match Vegas's star power. Game 4 answered that loudly. Boston didn't just match Wilson. She shifted the balance of the series. The paint, once Wilson's territory, now belonged to Boston. And with her setting that foundation, Indiana's supporting cast piled on, turning that interior dominance into a wave Vegas couldn't contain.
Coming off the on ball, getting her feet set.
2-point game. Boston center of the lane. Finishes plus the foul.
The concerted effort to get Aliyah Boston a touch in the paint. That time, Asia Wilson, his arm is caught around, so she fouls her on the left side while
Boston may have anchored the win, but when the game tightened, it was the supporting cast that made sure Indiana held firm, led by Kelsey Mitchell. She delivered 25 points, shooting 9 of 20 from the field, mixing in timely threes, and knocking down nearly everything at the line. More than just a scorer, she added 4 assists, reading Vegas's overloaded coverages and finding open teammates. Against an Aces defense that pressured every perimeter touch, Mitchell still carved space, rising over contests, slashing past late rotations, and answering Vegas bucket for bucket.
Mitchell dances, takes, and connects. Who is in the game? Melissa Smith is who sat down with Lloyd coming in. Backdoor, Mitchell lays it in on a beautiful delivery from Boston, plus the foul.
Oh, here. Kelsey Mitchell, so quick. Just one step, Bell bites.
Mitchell's performance carried extra weight because of everything she's endured with this franchise. She's been through the heartbreak of Indiana dropping games just like this in past seasons, but this time she refused to let it happen. Her effort made sure the Fever walked out tied 2-2. Caitlin Clark captured it perfectly from her courtside seat. She leaned over and said simply, "Kelsey, unreal." And that was the truth. On the biggest stage, under the brightest lights, Mitchell didn't just show up, she owned the moment.
I don't think that's a bad no call. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell able to hit.
Right here, she gets the handoff. I mean, this is a tough shot. Jackie Young right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like she needed a guitar in her head, right?
Working behind Boston. Mitchell flings it out. Sims. Stupid.
But Mitchell didn't carry the load alone. Lexi Hull delivered a performance that might outlast her modest 7 points in fans' memories. For 38 minutes, she was glued to Jackie Young, an all-star and one of Vegas's steadiest scorers. Hull hauled in 7 rebounds, swiped 4 steals, and even added a block, all while battling through a back injury that snagged her this postseason. Her grit was stamped on every hustle play, diving for loose balls, fighting for box outs against bigger forwards, tilting momentum with pure effort. The impact was obvious. When she sat, Young found rhythm. When she returned, the clamps snapped shut. That's the kind of defensive commitment that doesn't always make highlight reels, but it wins playoff games.
Fewer games as Hull knocks it away, and it stays inbound.
That's the second time that Hull has saved the layup with her weak side help defense.
Jay Petty in off the bench. Stephanie White liked the way she battled in game 3. Boston gives it up. Mitchell with Wilson switched on her. Now Young gets back. Hull connects. On a 3.
Then came Odyssey Sims, looking nothing like the player from Game 3's struggles. She bounced back in a huge way, dropping 18 points on 6 of 9 shooting with a couple of assists. Every possession, she hunted seams in Vegas's defense, pulling up for mid-range jumpers when they sagged, drawing fouls when they pressed. That confidence completely changed Indiana's offense. With Sims carving paths into the paint, Wilson and the Vegas bigs had to shift off Boston at times, creating more balance and space across the floor. It was the kind of bounce-back performance that turned pressure into momentum.
5 minutes to go. Sims stops and banks it in.
Shea Petty's numbers won't jump off the page. 7 points. 3 boards, 2 steals in just 16 minutes. But her impact was steady and invaluable. Whenever Vegas threatened to swing momentum, her poise steadied Indiana. She knocked down timely shots, spaced the floor, and managed possessions that could have easily unraveled. In a semifinal this tense, that kind of veteran composure is priceless.
Slipped to 6. Think that would change if they redrafted? Here's Petty all the way in off the steal. Shea Petty giving in.
Together, that supporting cast turned Boston's dominance in the paint into a full team surge Vegas couldn't contain. And now it sets the stage for the ultimate test, a do-or-die Game 5 in Las Vegas. With the Aces season on the line and Indiana believing they've got more than just a puncher's chance. The challenge? Walking into Michelob Ultra Arena, one of the league's toughest environments, where Vegas went 17-5 in the regular season and thrives on crowd-fueled momentum. The Aces will be desperate. For the Fever, the key will be drowning out that noise with composure, staying disciplined, and proving their Game 4 performance wasn't just a statement, it was a shift in control.
One game away from the finals, where you came from, in August when people were going down with injuries. I mean, how do you wrap your head around that, knowing that there's still work to be done?
Yeah, honestly, for me, all the credit has to go to God. Seriously, I mean, just thinking about where we are right now, just like you said, we lost people to injuries, and no one stepped down. No one dropped their heads. But I think Steph and the entire staff just did a great job of us telling us, listen, it doesn't matter who's in this locker room. It's about who's in here. And we're going to do everything we can to be successful. And we just kept working.
The challenge for Indiana is that their Game 4 blueprint is already on tape. And you can bet Vegas has studied every post-seal Boston established, every pick-and-roll Mitchell converted, and every rebound that swung momentum. The Aces will adjust, so the Fever's job is to strike first. That starts with Boston touching the ball early and often. If she sets up deep from the opening possessions, Wilson is forced to burn energy battling her physicality, and the longer Boston controls the paint, the tougher it becomes for Vegas to dictate pace. But the interior attack only works if the floor stays spaced, which makes Mitchell's outside aggression essential. Her shooting stretches Vegas thin, forcing them to pick their poison, collapse on Boston, or step out on the arc. Defensively, the spotlight shifts to Lexi Hull. Back on her home floor, Jackie Young will be locked in, so Hull's ability to stay glued without fouling is crucial. Then it's on Sims and Petty to steer the offense under pressure, because in a Game 5, every wasted possession is a crack Vegas can exploit.
I think for me, this from day one has just been a really special group. We've hit a lot of adversity collectively. I had some tough stuff that I was going through personally, and this group would just rallied around me, rally around each other, and truly do live the mantra of we over me. And it's just been a really, really special group. You don't always get these opportunities to coach groups like this, professional level especially. And I think because they're who they are as human beings, it allows us to continue to put one foot in front of the.
The X factor is rebounding. Indiana crushed Vegas 34-22 on the glass in Game 4, but duplicating that won't be easy. Natasha Howard, Bree Turner, Nalissa Smith, and Ariel Powers all have to chip in to keep the Aces from second-chance points. If the Fever own the boards and keep earning trips to the stripe, their destiny is in their own hands. This isn't just another game. It could reset the franchise's future. Indiana wasn't even supposed to be here. They've battled injuries all season. No Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Chloe Bibby, Sydney Colson, or Ari McDonald in the playoffs. And yet they're one win from the WNBA Finals. Coach Stephanie White called this a really special group, pointing to their resilience and unity through adversity. While Vegas fumes about whistles, Indiana just keeps finding ways to win. That's the difference. Or as Caitlin Clark said from the sideline, one more. Game 5 in Vegas will decide it all, and Indiana already has the blueprint. What do you think of Aja Wilson's special whistle comment? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a breakdown. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you in the next one.